first to be cast was the sarcastic middle son, Randy. 10-year-old Jonathan Taylor Thomas was up for the role, and it quickly became clear he was a natural in front of the camera. Taylor Thomas is terrific, and we had to actually change the network pretty quickly because I have the project of that. So if we Jonathan walked into the room and looked around, and you saw the intelligence. You saw this impish quality. Jonathan had great comedic instincts. He just did. He just knew how to make things smart. He and Tim had instant chemistry.
I want to make sure you can hear me.
The front runner was Zachary Ty Bryan. I was born and raised in a suburb right outside Denver, Colorado. So I was just kind of like this really active kid with a lot of personality. I think my mom kind of caught on to it. I did like a Burger King commercial. I did a Polo Ralph Lauren commercial. Zachary and his mother ventured out to Los Angeles to try their luck during pilot
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Days, he scored an audition for the new sitcom. I remember I originally went out with Randy. And the casting director, Debbie Gorilski, was like, she sent me back down and said, here, get them some other sides, and they were decided to brag. What Zach Ty Bryan had was this amazing athletic jock energy. He didn't have any of that Hollywood stuff. You know, he just all boy. Zachary knew he was doing something right when he tested for the network. I just remember when we walked in the room, there was no pretension. He wasn't an actor. You know, when he tried that again, he was just great. Zachary was his ability to. It was far funnier than his script he was given. I remember looking at John Pasquin and Matt Williams. I remember the energy was good. Zachary landed the job, leaving one more role to be filled in the Taylor family. That of youngest son Mark, and after Tara Noah Smith quickly got everyone's attention. He was perfect as the boy that adored his father, would follow him anywhere. He was also a little slighter of the frame, which of course made the older boys, you know, that's the kind of kid you're going to pick on. I remember Terrence's callback. I think he was only 4 or 5 at the time. So many actors at that age just are reciting their lines by rote. And Terrence he would sit on his mother's lap, and she would help him as they went along with his lines. Terrence just perfect, but he was just a really innocent kid. Got amazing heart. So he was perfect. And we went through an extensive audition process for that particular role. And the Terror won out. How next? The difficulty in finding Tim's perfect neighbor. Cussed out repeatedly. You expect me to stand behind that damn fence and the pilot that almost didn't air when they saw it in sexy. ABC said you can't air the pilot. When the story behind Home Improvement returns. Welcome back to the story behind Home Improvement. With the Taylor family all lined up, it was time to find Tim's perfect tool-time sidekick, Al Borland. I rolled through a stop sign, and I had to go to traffic school. So I'm sitting there for 8 hours next to this woman who turns out to be an agent. I found out about Home Improvement at traffic school.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
From his early days in theater.
No, static in the
job for them in Indiana. We were in Indiana in like the mid-80s for $100 a week stipend. And years later, when we moved to California, I find out that they're creating a show called Home Improvement. The main actor just called the producer, even with the connection.
Yes.
We really liked another actor for this, the guy that we had had a couple years before. So we went to Rick and said, look, Rick, we just need a guy. We're going to call you Al, and you'll just come in for this pilot. You'll only have a couple of lines. And then, you're done.
Can you hear me? I think there's a major delay.
I don't think so. I think that line is why I got the job.
Hold on.
Okay.
I don't know what's wrong. Hopefully that's better. Okay. 61.
Challenges for Home Improvement was finding Tim's neighbor Wilson, who lived on the other side of the fence and was only ever seen from the nose up. The first choice was John Bedford Boyd. We felt going into the testing process, that he was probably the front runner. We
Oh,
explained to the doctors, you understand, this is the character, you're going to be behind the scenes. If this show goes, for the life of the show, you're going to be behind the scenes. No problem.
35.
Problem. He got the script, and he read it, and we had his agent call us. I can't use the language that was used, but basically cussed out repeatedly. You expect me to stand behind that damn fence? I'm not doing this. Well, that's good to know, because we're about 3 days from
31.
rehearsal. The last-minute dropout offered the perfect opening for New York soap actor Earl Hindman. And the beautiful thing about Earl is he was a little older than Tim. He was a good spirit, had a very deep voice, a soothing voice, and we thought, wow, this is going to be good for the guy behind the fence.
Good shot.
YouTube. The final role to be cast on Home Improvement
45.
was Tim's assistant, Lisa the Tool Time Girl. One actress who came in and read for the Tool Girl was actually judged. And she was quite good. She was young, she was fresh, she was funny, she was lovely, but her agent answered, well, we think she has a movie career. That left the door wide open for a young model from Canada, Pamela Anderson. I do remember her first audition when she came to see me. I mean, when she walks into a room, she lights it up. She was a sweet girl from Vancouver that came on. Now, to surprise, which we didn't know, that she had been in Playboy.
One more 29.
This
Last one.
had no idea. Pam Anderson was such a fresh-faced girl when we first saw her. You know, she was just perfect. She came in, she read, she was funny. Tim had a rapport with her, and went from there. With the ensemble cast in
Now we got something better. 11.
Brandy was to shoot the pilot episode. No one was quite sure how it would turn out, considering the main star had never acted before. Innocent as was, I had no clue what I was doing. What makes comedy work on television, in my opinion, is you got to have a story that people relate to. And then the family could be put on top of it. Helping to keep Alan both relatable and funny was seasoned director John. John spent a great deal of time with it. Tim just picked it up now. I can't say enough about it. These are the top tears. The thing that I admire most about John's Pasco is he could shoot a scene in such a way that it would be 20% funnier because of the way he staged it and shot it.
61.
One scene from the pilot was when Tim tried to teach his youngest son how to rewire the dishwasher. And I think so many families relate to like the dad knows everything. Little Terry with little stick arms, you know, doing our with Tim was just really fun.
13.
Tim there's a minor explosion, and she gets up and shakes it off. Shakes it off, and the audience just went
Holy
crazy.
shit. 11.
And when that dishwasher blew the back out, it was so funny. Tim's antics and the exploding appliance scored big with a live studio audience. So much so that the show wound up running 10 minutes long with extra laughter.
33.
Shot the pilot because the audience, they just laughed at everything. Afterwards, the network just looked like, you know, that's the Nathan Canary. I mean, they were literally in awe. They just looked at it and said, hit. Home Improvement seemed like a home run for ABC. That is,
41.
tested the pilot with an all-female focus group. Some women were very concerned about his edgy point of view. Some saw it as sexist. Some saw it as, is he a good husband? Is he a good father? And they all went,
37.
like it. So ABC came back and said, you can't bear
79.
Hey, Tim. And they've been colonized, but we disagree. We think what's going to happen is women at home are going to help their husbands in the crib and say, honey, that's you. The creators stood firm in their beliefs and finally convinced ABC to take a chance on airing the episode. It was supposed to put on things that make people question and raise their eyebrows. And so it was an internal struggle, but we got it on the air. Networks have to be careful. They have to be cautious. And we had to see our women like Tim. You know, that went away. Then we got full support. It was full blast from that point on. With the
series officially debuted on ABC Tuesday, September 17, 1991, there were no more questions about the show's mass appeal.
I'll never forget when the pilot came out. Our first week, we were number 9.
30.
I think like Murphy Brown was number 1. There was like Designing Women. I actually remember. Everybody was like, all right, well, you know, I have a winner.
The show was definitely a winner with both seasons, and to prove it, the producers received their first piece of fan mail from a woman.
And with the magic script she had just written, God, that was funny! Exclamation point. And so we had that phrase, and we kept it in the office. So every day we look at that as kind of a reminder. Don't forget the funny.
Straight ahead, a new director makes waves on the set.
So here's my first meeting with him. And one.
Plus, the show shoots to the top, but a star decides to leave.
I know it's
When the story behind Home Improvement continues. Welcome back to the story behind Home Improvement. With the pilot episode a huge success, the series gained momentum during its first season. We premiered on Tuesday night at 8:30. I believe it was.
All right, my girlfriend's listening to me.
And that was a nice place to premiere. We kind of just started right. I just remember kind of the energy on set. Like everybody was like, all right.
43.
No.
Yeah, 45.
Because at the same time, we were doing this show, Cosby was going on.
39.
Shows.
With who was against me and what was, and at this point, ABC was top dog.
And it was very exciting when we became number 1. The executives from Disney came down to the stage, and it was like a big celebration.
As the audience fell in love with the show, fell in love with the idea of being a TV family and quickly considered Disney's Stage 4 their second home. There was a great atmosphere both
30.
with the producers and the writers. We were all doing this together. We worked together. You sort of the energy that comes from that.
Every person is important, whether you're putting a nail in the set or you're the star of the show. You have equal value to the show. And we tried to make that.
100.
And Tim Allen very much contributed to that mindset.
Home Improvement was Tim Allen. Worked harder than everybody. He was the first one there, the last one leaving. It was a really great example of work discipline. But Tim's funny. Tim is a funny guy. You know, he wants a happy set, and he feels he gets that by making people laugh. Just sit with Tim and be able to have lunch with him. You could hardly finish eating because you laugh so hard. And he was very respectful of everyone.
43.
And sometimes the line between Tim Allen, set patriarch, and Tim Taylor, TV dad, became blurred. I can raise these
42.
If you do spend an inordinate amount of time with these people, it's shitty that you're there for 10 hours.
I'm trying to read your message.
I spent more time.
I don't know what's going on. I can't see it for whatever reason.
First 2 episodes, Tim signed an 8x10
Minute.
with my father. They said that they
Still cutting out. Okay. Sorry.
I thought it was my father. And generally, in Home Improvement, it was all about family. We did spend a lot of time with those.
Must be my internet. 51, 50,
He took a peek at the next year. Home Improvement's time slot. Second season was a bold move on ABC's part to move it out of a protected time slot at 9 o'clock Wednesday night to start an hour. Jeffrey Katzenberg called me this morning after
40.
premiered at Wednesday 9 o'clock slot, and he goes, "There's no question if they get so the audience that's follows it." We're opposite Seinfeld. At the time they moved Seinfeld because we were crushing that, and they moved it to Thursday.
60.
TV Thursday. In
62.
addition to the new time slot, another big change was with the series.
106. Hold on. 54. I'm sorry. My math isn't the best.
Yeah, right.
Where I was doing wildly successful show.
Sorry. Dude, I'm real slow. Okay, 116.
Allen was less than thrilled at the prospect of losing Pasquin, a director he'd grown to admire and trust. It was a funny time for me. I hate it, and I still hate it.
85.
I like the consistency, but that's just one of my deals. Since we ever want change, once we had a machine that was good working, and John
Oh.
Bass,
You kidding me?
that guy campaigning for the director's chair was Andy Cadiff. When Andy Cadiff came along, Tim was resistant. So here's my first meeting with Tim. Stage manager Sean Shea brought Tim over to Tim. This is the new director, Andy Cadiff. Looked at me and went, yeah, you, and walked away. He really had
49.50.
accepting the fact that there wasn't to
Oh my God.
Cadiff had a vacuum of creators. It was
Oh
Alex
my
approval
God.
and
1820.
first episode, I think one of his favorite episodes. Called Howard's End, and it was Zachary Ty Bryan's character was to babysit his friend's goldfish, and it died. And the opening of the act
First start.
was a floating dead goldfish. So he pulled back off the dead goldfish, still looking for the goldfish bowl, and then there were two eyes and a sad face in his hat. So after that, I think shoulders relaxed a little bit, and he started trusting Andy. I think that kind of got me in the game. Just as the cast was getting used to their new director, another change would be thrown in them. Show creators Carmen Finestra and Matt Williams brought in an old friend from the Cosby Show to oversee the series. They brought in Elliot Schoen, who, in my estimation, one of the great showrunners I've ever worked with.
26.
Told the writers this at all times. None of us here are bigger than this show. The audience has come to this show. We have
45. Oh,
and just like with Andy, it would take Tim
I
time.
know this last cranberry.
And it really is. We share each other's thoughts about being leader on the set. And I
42.
know what it's like being this ringmaster. That was a tremendous breakthrough for us. You know, we gradually built a relationship. We turned out to be a good relationship.
22.
As Andy and Elliot happily settled into their new roles, one home improvement cast member was anything but happy with hers. She wanted more than what Lisa was doing at that time. She always felt that she was underused. Well, I think Pam was a little frustrated because the role wasn't going to be increased. It just wasn't. She loved having this job, but once she found that she could find another job like Baywatch where she could do other things and, you know, become a full
59.
character, she jumped into that. We couldn't say no to him. Something really wonderful was going to happen to her. We just knew that we could get lightning or balls and we had to look for somebody who was beautiful but an actress. And that's when we brought Debbie in. Dunny was the stunning Dunny who stepped into her shoes and made it.
84.
And is the sweetest, most honorable woman that I've met.
Does everybody know what time it is? That's right, Victor told us about today.
39.
Dunning was a shoo-in for the role of Heidi, the new Tool-Time girl, partially because she was no stranger to the home improvement set. Debbie Dunning was actually in an episode of Home Improvement prior to that, where she played a beautiful girl.
24.
She came over just practically hanging out of her dress. She wanted to sign an autograph. Her name had about 8 syllables in it. Her name was Kiki Van
41.
Thurston Weil and Heimschel.
Kiki volunteers to on Shylock.
I think when Debbie came, we wanted somebody who could carry a little bit more weight, so we could actually do stories with her. Debbie Dunning, the first
94.
role, the first one completed.
26.
Biggest heartthrob of the night. Jonathan Taylor Thomas makes a startling decision. I think it affected Tim most. You know, when the story behind Home Improvement returns. Welcome back to the story behind Home Improvement.
94.
I gotta stop that. Sorry, dude. I go too fast.
Its massive appeal held strong. This prompted ABC to shift Home Improvement from Wednesday to Tuesday night, facing off against another comedy giant, Frasier. I had such great confidence in the show, and I just love the show, so I decided to do it. Home Improvement was something like a 32 share, and Frasier did 20
Third there.
I've been right a few times, I've been wrong a lot of times, but it's nice to have.
Yep, very nice.
Nice.
And they made an appointment to the projection.
Home Improvement continued to outperform its competition, and as it wrapped up season 4, the show reached a major milestone, completing 100 episodes and beginning a life in syndication.
Fantastic. And of course, it was
55.
what was really amazing was that everyone was watching the shows again and again.
To launch the show in new markets, a special episode was
59.
created called Thanks for the Memories. How do we stop blowing all the windows out of the house with the sound system or nail guns shooting up tool time?
97.
Just go to the army base and have a tank run like that. Yeah. Tim
Smell it
Warren
around.
was allowed.
Look at it.
And then the next thing is arrow, blue, and black was also with this tank. Black. It was a lot of fun.
140.
But
Alright.
it was highly promotable. Disney came with the idea that we'll show this first in syndication, then we'll show it on ABC. And that's about it.
125.
The first night of syndication. I think it was right on what they started. Years of being a top 10 show and the added exposure of worldwide syndication made the cast of Home Improvement more popular than ever.
As much as we loved the idea that we were successful, we really weren't prepared for the fact that the audience was beginning to know the cast as a thing they're real.
118.
As Tim said, we were clear of how well people until you go out.
67.
Are introverted by nature, it was overwhelming. I was protected by Disney Studio. When I went out,
Third day.
Oh. Sweet. Yeah, nice start.
I never could just go out there because I had a guy
It's on now. Just kidding.
people show up. It's pretty surreal. There was a
Yeah.
point where I was in the airport, they all see, and all of a sudden I'm like running down the hall like I'm a beetle. That was kind of weird, being chased.
45.
Came to the conclusion quickly that, if I'm going to be upset about this, I'm going to be upset all the time. So just enjoy it.
79.
One cast member who was enjoying his newfound fame was Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Well, Jonathan became a phenomenon. He was literally
33.
the biggest heartthrob of the night. We do all these photo shoots for Tiger Team, all that stuff. I would be in probably every issue, but not a lot. Jonathan was like on the cover of every single one of them.
Jonathan, particularly because he was such a little heartthrob, started getting much more than what we had to figure out what to do about this. If I recall correctly, there was
43.
some special agency who would handle answering the phone.
I don't think anybody knew when they first cast him. But the kid actors, it's impossible to tell who's going to take off and who's going to grow.
48 and second 100.
Jonathan developed
Nice.
a very talented, and the
106.
capitalized.
112.
So
Sorry.
it's 124 hours of the life of a family waiting for medical results.
Seven more. 7 times
65.
7.
The only problem was ABC didn't want the episode there. Network was freaked out totally. The network has a tendency to
Yeah.
worry about that very
Yeah, I got it. That's right, came off.
now suddenly, something the story we wanted to tell was the
28.
precious. Allen was in favor of doing the episode, so ABC finally acquiesced. The producers felt strongly about it, and it was our desire to put it.
30.
They were right. The answer show with John Thomas kids that really showed it. He was great. He was at a perfect age to really tap into
41.
levels of acting he hadn't really been asked to do before. It was amazing. Really scared. I don't want to die.
66.
The Longest Day was nominated for a Humanitas Award, and the episode rated so well, it bumped Home Improvement back into the #1 spot.
61.
After mails, people who found that really moving. We got a couple of really interesting letters of people who said that their kid had a similar thing, and they decided to look into it as a result. That was really powerful.
54.
Despite Home Improvement's immense popularity with fans, the show was never able to win over the critics.
Oh my God.
We got anything Bill Hausner to do.
57, 67,
Door on the American public. And
70.
and totally
Shit.
shunned. So Carver
Mother of mercy.
was shunned by the Emmys. We're going to create our own award show. We came up with a homies. I was like the MC of it. We gave out the awards. People came up and accepted the award. So everyone went home with a trophy. That was Carmen's way.
Second dart. Holy shit.
Wow.
Can't believe I took that out on a second dart.
That advice. Find out what caused the home improvement family to lose a son. I think I've even heard that Jonathan wishes it had gone differently. That's next when the story behind home improvement continues.
Crazy shit. I'm streaming this game too.
Story behind home
Nice
improvement.
out. I mean, because it wasn't a good out. It was terrible out. But
Since then, 7 seasons, it was still a top 10.
39.
Fans invited the Taylor family into their living rooms to see what Tim would destroy next. They kept blowing stuff up constantly.
31.
To keep things fresh, the stunts grew more and more elaborate, ultimately becoming a trademark of the show. We
Ah!
and our crew, they would do anything we asked. They were excited by any great idea. Our crew, Warren Schaefer and Fox, all of them, I mean, they were.
135.
That's pretty amazing. What we pulled off.
Thank you.
We had a Bobcat, which is a bulldozer that had a propane tank with the backseat right inside of a building.
47.
And they let me drive upstairs. There was no one asked me, have you ever driven a bulldozer? So I climbed it up the stairs and because
Oh, mother of mercy again. Look at that shit, man.
the Bobcat goes
78.
back onto like its gas tank.
Wait a minute. 57. 77, 78. 88. 95.
And the entire video almost flipped over onto Tim. I'm standing next to this giant rocking thing, and at the end of the thing, everyone goes, Jim, are you okay? Are you fine? Yeah, I'm okay. Well, I could have been crushed.
25.
Tim goes out and says, okay, we're all done. In class. And they all look at each other.
101.
And then they go,
All right.
run. Let's go. It was very nerve-wracking. I had about 5 cameras rolling, but I had to have every angle covered, but it worked perfectly. Season after season, the stars outdid themselves. We heard those stories, which was really came out of
45.
Jim Vincent Chicago. He was showing how the big brain works. And he was lowering a 5-ton beam, and he pushed the wrong button. We dropped an I-beam on the
I don't know why.
station wagon.
I could have done a different gun.
It was amazing.
44.
And
I fucked
finally,
myself up.
it's really hard not to laugh. We killed animals. We shot the baby Jesus across the set. We got no letters from things like that. When we dropped the
45.
nomad, oh my God, we were getting cards and letters from people like we were killing baby seals. How could you drop a baby on a nomad? I had to go on the air and say,
Oh, Amy, you didn't do that right. 19.
One of the most meta stunts of the series involved a very special guest star. The one person that everybody was dying to see was Bob Dylan. Life imitated art when TV's original home improvement specialist.
55.
Bob Dylan was not a big movie star. He was just the guy that everyone said, that's the perfect guy for Tim to work on. The consummate professional versus Tim was a screwer. Remember, a job worth doing is a job worth doing right.
Oh,
Is that it, Bob? Tim was jealous of Bob Vila. Al loved Bob Vila. We kept bringing back Bob Vila. I'll be waiting for you at the finish line, Tim. I'll be there with your second place
34.
trophy. Competing with Tim the Toolman Taylor's real-life alter ego brought everything.
31, 34. 7.
It was the motivation for this whole show because I still love this old house. As Home Improvement entered its 8th season, it started to slip its ratings and was no longer number
42.
one. They were rumbling that this might be the series' final season when cast member Jonathan Taylor Thomas made the startling decision to exit the show. Well, Jonathan did not want to do the 8th season. He'd done the show for 7 years. You know, at the time when you're doing something for that long, maybe I've done everything. And so he decided that was it. This one day, 3 years. But the last
58.
year, he run the marathon and you're, see the finish line. Writers worked quickly to create a storyline where Randy left home, worked in Costa Rica.
I don't believe it. Lauren and I are going to be back together.
When she did together, remember?
No, I get to go to Costa Rica. What?
In real life, Jonathan was leaving to focus on academics, but the boy he left was obvious. Jonathan leaving impacted the show because he was so crucial. He was a member of the family. When Jonathan left it, I was really upset.
I think it just took the wind out of the show a little bit.
No score.
We had such a wonderful relationship. I know that it really had to hurt Tim. I know it did. I think it affected Tim the most. He was on the sun.
Jonathan is really complex. It's really complex.
38.
Wonderful work.
36.
I don't take away from him because there's always one person. I'm sure somewhere along the line, I think I've even heard that Jonathan has gone differently because he loves Tim. Jonathan was always like and always a pro. I just think there was some
7 die.
small decisions.
Yeah, good shot. Thanks for the
Thanks.
game. Sorry about the issues.
All good.
So much fun.
All right. Thank you for the game. Talk to you later.
Tips to